Having had the opportunity to partake in both of the Halo Infinite PvP flights, I can positively say that Halo Infinite's level design continues to amaze me. I've had a lot of fun playing the two new maps being Behemoth and Fragmentation, and in today's video we're going to discuss what I think so great about them and why they're both great from a level design perspective in terms of their visuals and gameplay. So how's it going, Magpies? Magpie Leon here, and let's jump straight in. So let's start by talking about Behemoth. Behemoth is a 4v4 symmetrical arena map, and is the first of the two new ones that we got to play, obviously. This map has reintroduced vehicles into the 4v4 modes, which is awesome, and I'm glad it gave us the opportunity to try out the Warthog, the Ghost, and the Mongoose. It was really nice being able to use the vehicles, and I had a lot of fun with them, and I had a lot of fun on this map. Now, talking more so about the map rather than the vehicles that were on there, the map looks stunning. Like, straight away, the first thing I can positively say about this map is it is gorgeous. It was nice being able to see some Forerunner scenery. It made a nice change considering all three of the previous ones we played were all more of a human setting, so it was nice to see a bit more of the alien side of Halo's environment and seeing some Forerunner architecture again. It was just really cool, and being able to get up close and personal with the big hexagon pillars, it's nice to see how detailed they actually look. Now, the map, for those that haven't seen it, it's sort of on like a tower of the big hexagon pillars with a Forerunner structure on top in a desert environment. And it is a really nice map. I would turn off the bots in training mode and just walk around and just admire the scenery, because it looks that good. The vehicles fit into the combat on this map really well. There's sort of like a circular track for the vehicles to go around on, whereas the centre, where the big Forerunner structure is, it's a bit harder for the vehicles to access this area, which gives players that haven't had the opportunity to grab one of the vehicles, gives them sort of a place to hide and maybe get the upper hand on some of the vehicles. Vehicles are a lot better in Infinite than they have been in the past couple of games, which is really good to see. It's nice to see they're useful again, but this also means that players might be scrambling to find the upper hand, but luckily there is plenty of weapons on the map and plenty of equipment and stuff like that in order to do so, in order to get the upper hand. For example, we were introduced to the shock rifle and dynamo grenades, and these have the chance to EMP vehicles. The shock rifle is very useful for this, and so is the dynamo grenades, obviously, as well as the grappling hook being accessible on this map, which allows you to pretty much easily hijack vehicles. In terms of the power weapons that spawn in this map, there's the sniper rifle and the skewer, and the skewer is an anti-vehicle weapon anyway, so if that's spawned in, you shouldn't really have to worry about a Ghost or Warthog at all. I guess this is more of a 3-lane map. You've got the big circular track going around the middle, but also a straight line straight across in order to get from point A to B if you want to walk through the structure. You can go up or down on this level. There's like 2 little subsections, and then there's a big sort of bridge underneath. Now, that's where you can find like an overshield or active camo, but this is also a bit of a risky move, as there is some open areas where you can be easily taken out if you do want to risk going for that piece of equipment. There's also plenty of other like nooks and crannies that you can go through in order to find other pieces of equipment like the grapple shot and repulsor, which both spawn on this map and are both quite useful in this environment too. The grapple shot, there is plenty of points to swing from. It's good for grabbing power weapons, for hijacking vehicles, or trying to get to a vehicle quicker than your opponent. And the repulsor is really fun to use. This was the first time we actually got to try that, and it's really good for shooting players off the map. You're able to deflect players off the map, which is really cool. Since it is on quite a high structure, it's very useful for that. Same with vehicles too, you can also do that to vehicles. And there's a lot of points where you can use the repulsor in order to elevate yourself up there a lot quicker. As I mentioned prior, both the sniper and skewer spawn on this map, and their weapon placement is solid. They spawn in like these 2 towers, and there's one on each side of the map. And from where they spawn, those are like the perfect points to use them from. You've got plenty of high ground. You can get plenty of good shots from up there. But then, obviously, since things like the grapple shot sometimes spawn on this map, it can also be very handy to get some cool trick shots if that's what you want to do. But both those weapons are extremely useful on this map. There's a nice variety of weapons and equipment on here. There's plenty of precision weapons. You've got the commando, the battle rifle, the shock rifle, and like the sniper spawns on here too. The Ravager is one of the other spawns. There's plenty of weapons to use on this map, and combat is definitely very interesting. I do think this is my favourite out of all the 4v4 maps to play, and this may be because it's the newest one, but I genuinely think it is the most Halo feeling map out of the 4. Not that the other 3 that we've played before are bad by any means and don't feel like Halo, because that simply isn't true. They all fit very nicely into Halo, and they all feel like Halo maps, and I do think my opinions on some of those have changed, For example, in the last one, I'm pretty sure I said Bazaar was my favourite, but I think out of those three now, Livefire might have actually grown on me a lot more, having played it with the grapple shot. Using the grapple shot on that map is amazing, and I enjoy that map a lot more now. But that obviously isn't what we're here to talk about today. I do think Behemoth is my favourite of all the 4v4 maps so far. It has bits of it almost reminds me a bit like Sandtrap. I know I'm not the only person to say that, a lot of people have also said the same thing, so I guess I'm not wrong for saying that. It is very Sandtrap-esque in terms of its visual, but that's probably just because it's in a desert. But yeah, it's an amazing map. It's got great weapon placements. The vehicles are perfect for the level design. They fit in very nicely. They have a perfect open area in order for them to go around in. But then there's also areas that are a bit harder for them to navigate in order to give players without a vehicle the upper hand. So I think the choices that they've made there are completely fine, and it definitely makes the map very entertaining to play. The weapon and equipment placement, again, is all completely fine. I've got no issues with this map. It is a very good map visually, and it's a very good map to play gameplay wise. So with all that out of the way, I think it's time we move on to the second map, being Fragmentation. I think it's pretty clear that the main thing everyone was looking forward to with the new flights was being able to try Big Team Battle, and the map that we got to play on in Big Team Battle is pretty damn amazing. Fragmentation is without a doubt an amazing map, and is one of the best Big Team Battle maps I've had the chance to play in quite a few years. Big Team Battle in Halo Infinite stepped up from 8v8 up to 12v12, and to compensate for this it means maps need to be bigger, and Fragmentation shows this off perfectly. The map is just the right size for Big Team Battle, as you never feel like you're waiting too long to get into a combat encounter. It all flows really nicely. I don't really think I have any complaints with the map. There's plenty of cover, so you never feel like you're stuck out in the open, but there's definitely open spaces to where you're not just going to have your opponents run away all the time and be able to find somewhere to hide. So in that regard, it's pretty solid. There is a lot of elevated positions which can come in quite handy for combating vehicles. Obviously, if there's an enemy team in a Warthog driving past, if you've got no way of being able to counter that, you're kind of screwed. That chain gun will tear you down. So it's nice that you've got these elevated positions to sort of be able to get the jump on them. The weapon layouts and the weapons available on this map, again, are pretty solid. You've got stuff like the shock rifle and dynamo grenades in order to counter vehicles. In terms of power weapons, I'm pretty sure you could get every power weapon that was available in the flight in different ways. Sometimes they'd spawn in loot caves, which were a new addition to Big Team Battle, and I will make a separate video talking about them in the future. You could get the gravity hammer, the spanker, the sniper and the skewer. All four of them were all available on this map. Again, you had like your Ravager, your Bulldog, your Heatwave. I'm pretty sure every weapon that was in the flight was available on this map, but it never felt overcrowded because a lot of the time the weapon spawns would be randomised. This is something that Halo Infinite has done for every map, and it definitely makes combat feel a bit more unique every match, as you're not usually going to be stuck with the same weapons, and I really enjoy that. It works really well in Big Team Battle. I saw some complaints, but a lot of people were angry about the fact that they couldn't find battle rifles or whatever, but I think I found a battle rifle in every single match I played. Sometimes the spawns would just be swapped, sometimes you find a commando there, sometimes you find a battle rifle, but chances are at some of the commando spawns the other times you'd find a battle rifle. It was never something I found an issue with. We got the opportunity to try 3 game modes. Total Control, I believe, was the new game mode that they added. I think that's what it was called. And this map works fine on the map. Capture the Flag, I mean, this is definitely a capture the flag sort of map. You've got the 2 bases in a big canyon. It's sort of like a spiritual successor to Valhalla, but it's original enough to definitely be considered its own thing. Other than the fact that it is in a sort of canyon setting with 2 bases, its similarities with something like Valhalla sort of end there. And Slayer works fine on the map. We had cool pelican drops that would drop in vehicles and weapons, which was another way to access power weapons. It was a way we got to try out some new vehicles that hadn't been previously accessible in the flight, like the Wasp and the Banshee, and even the Scorpion, but I haven't got the opportunity to try the Scorpion, which is very upsetting. Overall, due to things like the weapon placement and the weapons available on this map, combat felt pretty fair. There was a lot of people that were angry about the fact that we started with the assault rifle and sidekick, but with how quickly you can mow people down with something like the battle rifle, I think that would make the mode very unfun. I mean, I don't want to drive around the corner of my Warthog to get absolutely mowed down by 12 people with battle rifles. I don't think that'd be very fun, but that's an argument for another day. I think the assault rifle and sidekick spawns work very well on Big Team Battle, and they are completely fine, and I have no issue with them. The map, again, is breathtaking visually. There's loads of cool Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like, you can find, like, crash sentinels, and you see pelicans fly past in the background and all that sort of stuff. You see those cool, like, sort of stone ring things across the map, and they are really nice pieces of scenery. We get some more Forerunner architecture, and as I expressed earlier, I think that's really cool, and I absolutely love it. The loot caves, as prior mentioned, are a really nice addition and definitely make gameplay as well a bit more interesting, as even on something like Slayer, it sort of adds a bit of an objective to it. If you can actually get into the loot caves, it can really give you the upper hand. If you end up walking out with overshield and a rocket launcher or a gravity hammer, chances are you're going to get at least a couple of kills. If anything, this map has just got me more excited to see what other Big Team Battle maps 343 have made, and even with the arena maps too. Like, Behemoth was amazing. I can't wait to see what other maps we've got to try in this game. It's nice that Big Team Battle is a primary focus again. It was sort of sidelined in Halo 5 due to Warzone's addition, and although I really enjoy Warzone, it's a shame that Big Team Battle was treated the way it was. I'm really glad that 343 are updating it, making it more enjoyable, making it bigger. That's really cool. I like the fact that it's 12v12. It makes the combat, it makes the battles feel so much more intense. The scale is just so much bigger, and I absolutely love it. And Fragmentation was the perfect map to introduce everyone to Big Team Battle 2.0. I can't express enough how visually breathtaking I found its scenery. Like, there was points where I just stand over the cliff at one side of the map and just stare out into the distance. It makes me really excited to see what the open world campaign is going to be like. If we're going to have more environments like this, I'm going to absolutely love it, because it just looked amazing. After some lackluster level design in Halo 5, 343 have really impressed me, and seeing all the new maps in Infinite, trying these 5 maps that we've had the opportunity to play, all of them are absolutely amazing. They're all really fun to play, and they're all pretty balanced. The weapon spawns are fine, the ones that have vehicles, the vehicles translate into the combat really well. I haven't really got any complaints. But yeah, I think I've said everything I needed to say in this video, so if you're new here, consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like. But yeah, that's all from me today, folks, and I will catch you in the next one.